So it seems like the community are not happy with Sinder. Obviously, if you see my previous videos on this, I've made a ton about the entire situation from start to finish. Obviously, Sinder did a ton of stuff in the background. There's a whole document that came out from nanoless. If you guys want to see that, then I'll link the first video down below so you guys can, take a look and get the full context. But pretty much it ended up with Sinder posting an apology, which pretty much no one accepted. I'm going to be honest. Everyone was very mad. There's been tons of videos of other VTubers actually talking about this over on stream. And essentially, yeah, it wasn't received well. Everyone is not happy with this at all. Now, it seems like another kind of facet of the community is also not happy with Sinder being her own community, because obviously we've looked at a lot of the kind of VTuber responses and, what they think about it and what, Twitter thinks about it and what YouTube thinks about it. But we haven't actually looked at her own community. Do her community actually stand with her and try to protect her like a lot of kind of VTuber communities do? Or are they pretty against her? And well, this first screenshot is pretty crazy because obviously over on her Discord, if you don't know, it was actually locked. They actually had to end up locking all the channels and, because there was obviously a ton of hate going her way and stuff like that, which again, could be justified, might not be justified. You could make up your own mind on that. But essentially the Discord channel was locked, so it would stop a lot of these, horrible messages from coming through. And well, yeah, there's this moderator called Dan who pretty much says, "Hi all, small update to the above. Please no longer contact me regarding the future of the server or with any questions with matters relating to Sinder. I'm stepping down as admin/mod of the community. I've tried my best to remain as neutral as possible and not speak on behalf of my friends, Sinder or any others while we waited for additional information to come out. I'm not naive enough to ask, please do not witch hunt anyone involved. I've been around the internet long enough to know this is how these things go," which is based, by the way, all of these VTubers and stuff, no matter if they're in the right or in the wrong, whatever, saying, please don't send hate, please don't go attack, please don't witch hunt. It's going to happen, if you make a post, it's going to happen. Also the ones that are saying, like, please don't cover this, please don't look at this on a YouTube video. You put it out on Twitter for everyone to see. Unfortunately, people are going to see it, people are going to talk about it, and that's just how, it goes. If you don't want it to be seen, don't put it on Twitter, don't put it on YouTube, don't put it on wherever. But again, they say, I do ask you, please give respect to any of the mods, past, present, or future. They were/are trying to support the community that brought them joy. The amount of vitriol that has been unnecessarily thrown their way while they were trying to give someone a chance to speak their piece is unwarranted. Also, do not take any of them staying on or joining the team as 100% agreement with every action that has been taken. A community is made up of the individuals that exist within it, and I'm sure their focus is trying to cultivate that feeling once again. So yeah, I definitely do understand why some moderators would want to stay, because obviously Sinder has always had this big connection to a lot of the fans. And obviously a lot of you guys have been commenting down below about, your kind of situation and how you feel about this, because obviously some of you guys are long Sinder fans, and it's kind of, shocking to see a lot of this stuff come out. And I can see why some moderators would want to stay to try keep this community together and keep it like just more positive. But again, some people, if they want to leave as well, for example, like Dan here, it seems like, well, it's totally up to them. They say, don't let the recent situation ruin your memories with the people you've met here, the emotions you've had, and your empathy towards others. We're all just trying to find a bit of happiness with what little time we have together. Be happy, be healthy, and be good to each other. So, yeah, it seems like, Dan is probably going to be leaving the community and stuff like that. They're saying, please no longer contact me about the future of the server or any questions with matters related to Sinder. So yeah, they're stepping down as mod/admin, which is pretty crazy, and obviously, it's totally within his right. We've all seen what Sinder's done and the kind of massive impact she's had on a ton of people. And, I totally respect his decision just not to, work with her in the future. But I saw another tweet that went forwards from some other community members over on Twitter. For example, this one. Now, this was pretty crazy. It's Viverick. I don't know who they are, but obviously I'm guessing they were a fan of Sinder. They said, just a reminder, some of your Sinder merch isn't fire resistant. As someone who looked up to her in the VTuber community, it really hurt to see the kind of person she was outside of streaming. Also, sorry Makeship, I love you. I have so many VTuber plushies, bro. So again, yeah, it's them literally burning Sinder's plushies, which is kind of crazy. And it seems like a lot of fans have been doing this as well. They've been destroying them, burning them, whatever. Pretty much just getting rid of them, which is, pretty crazy. They're saying RIP U2's plush. They said, I forgot it was U2's, I thought it was Makeship, I'ma be real. They say, wow, this is a little much, isn't it? Which again, I do understand, it is, sometimes it could be a little bit further. And, I think many people have said this. although Sinder is a bad person, I think a lot of people can separate a lot of the merch and the design of the character with her herself. But obviously, if you don't want to do that, that's totally fine as well. I feel like you're justified to either keep it or not keep it, or, you know, destroy it if you really want to. But someone also replied to this as well, making a really good point, saying, "Dear Pyro Pups, I know many of you are hurting right now, and you have every right to feel the way you do. Whenever everything first happened, my first instinct was to throw away all the leftover merch I had. But after sitting with it overnight, I realized even in the moment of heartbreak, we have the power to choose kindness. A child won't care about the name attached to their plush, they'll just know that they have something to hug when they feel alone. A man living on the street won't care about the logo on a jacket, only that it will keep him warm throughout another cold night. Today I donated every last piece of my remaining Sinder merch to people who need it more than I ever could. If you're struggling with what to do, I hope you'll consider donating too. Turning our pain into a little light for someone else might be the best thing we can do right now. Stay strong and take care of yourself," which honestly I think is a good way to do it. Obviously, you know, a lot of people are saying, you know, oh, it's more satisfying to burn it, which again, if you really want to do that, then fine. But I think this is a good way to do it, you know, just kind of donating it to people who don't really care about this stuff, who don't care about the image. You know, all they need is something, you know, that, you know, a lot of people don't have. And, you know, you have the privilege to buy a lot of this merch and you just end up burning it when you could, you know, go and give it to someone that actually needs it and doesn't care about the kind of brand attached to it, which honestly, I think is a pretty good message to go forwards. And, you know, if you do have any kind of merch or whatever that you don't want, then maybe consider donating it. But hey, if you want to destroy it too, go ahead, be my guest, because, you know, I feel like a lot of people are getting rid of their stuff. And, well, you know, people in the comments as well saying, "You look so defeated, goddamn, stay strong." I won't lie, it's been tough. I run my brand alone, and lately it's felt like one hit after another. So again, I don't know if they're like kind of involved with oh yeah, so they make anime merch and stuff. So again, it seems like it's going pretty crazy. So this was such a sweet idea. Thank you so much. Say, bro, you're one badass human being, which again is a good way to make a positive out of a pretty bad situation. But, you know, after looking at all of these, and there is so many other posts out there from a lot of the other Cinder, you know, watchers, you know, fans, whatever, it seems like, you know, the kind of response to this has been like, they don't like this, okay? And it doesn't seem like there's been any case of Cinder fans going on the defensive. It seems like a lot of people have just kind of accepted the fact that this has happened and they're not trying to delude themselves with something that's gone wrong, which again, is probably one of the best outcomes we can see, because we've seen many situations in the past where, you know, there's been one side and another side and they start fighting and start going crazy over this kind of stuff, when in reality they don't really need to be fighting. And, you know, it's very obvious someone's in the wrong, but obviously due to past, you know, kind of attachments, obviously, you know, people got very attached to Cinder over like COVID and things like that, which again was a pretty you know, tough time for everyone. And obviously people were going to watch her streams, going to watch other people's streams, so they built up their attachment. And that's why, you know, this person here was saying that enjoy the experiences, because there was a lot of people who were saying that during that period of time, you know, they watched Cinder's streams and it helped to kind of improve it, or even just anything else, or just like a bad time in general. And obviously after seeing all of this, it can be pretty hard for people. But, you know, hopefully with a lot of the VTubers that are out at the moment, you know, obviously she has been a lot of the VTubers that have been mentioned in the kind of apology, and also some of the documents that we've read over time. Again, you can go back and see that if you want to. You know, I feel like a lot of people are going to go find them now and maybe, you know, watch them instead to see if they can find that similar community that they found with Cinder, which honestly I think is the best idea. Obviously, Spite was one of the ones that was kind of targeted for, you know, having a similar design, and obviously they kept copying a lot of, you know, her outfits and things like that, which was kind of crazy. But Spite actually went live yesterday and ended up getting, you know, way higher viewership, gained a ton of followers, a ton of subs, which is looking really positive for them. And obviously tons of people were in Bow's stream, Shy Lily's stream and stuff like that. So I think a lot of people are going over to their streams now, not only to hear their kind of response and, you know, how they feel about the overall situation, but also just to find a new VTuber to follow and find a new kind of community to be a part of. Because, yeah, for a lot of these people, they've just lost an entire community that they've been a part of for possibly years, which, you know, can be pretty devastating to some people, because again, you know, it's what, I don't know what, you know, you do in there. You either, you know, chat with a ton of friends and talk about the streams or whatever, and all of a sudden it's gone due to something like this. And it's not just gone in the sense of like, oh, she's just quit, or oh, she's retiring, that's kind of sad, never mind. You know, for example, we've had like the Gura situation with her, you know, leaving HoloLive. It's not like one of those where it's just like, okay, you know, it's obviously for a reason, so it's fine. this has been like almost like a punch in the face, you know? It's been like she's done all of this horrible thing. She's gone out with a bang pretty much. And I feel like if Sinder does come back, she's going to have a much lower, you know, viewership, audience. And yeah, it seems like there's going to be a lot less people kind of supporting her. But, you know, we're going to have to see, you know, what happens. Guys, I don't know if there's going to be another kind of apology or something like that coming out, because it was pretty terrible. Let's be honest. We read through it all. I have a whole video going through it all. It was pretty terrible. 11,000 likes, and it's had 14 million views. That's pretty insane. So again, it seems like it's not getting any better for her at all, and it's going to be interesting to see what her next moves are. Is she going to take a long break and kind of go off the face of the internet for a little bit and maybe come back in the future? Or is she going to go live tomorrow and just act like nothing happened? Because again, it's going to be interesting, because obviously some people respond to it differently. Some people act, you know, differently. And, you know, what I'd want to see is her literally just go away for a bit. And, you know, if she does feel like she can come back and can make a meaningful kind of difference, then maybe that would be good. But so far, you know, she's lost the trust of everyone. She's definitely not getting back in the VTuber community and in the, you know, such a positive VTuber community at the moment, because there's been so much damage done. But yeah, that's pretty much an update on how the fans and how the people who have been in the community feel about this entire situation. It's pretty sad that this stuff is happening and that people have gone this far and they're now destroying a lot of merch and stuff. It's kind of crazy. But yeah, if you guys did enjoy this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think. Have you been a Sinder fan? You know, what are you planning on doing? Are you planning on, you know, watching a different VTuber? Are you planning on destroying your merch? Let me know, because again, it's kind of crazy, you know, this kind of stuff happening, and you know, so many people destroying, getting rid of all of this stuff. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.